Alright, so welcome to the second part. Today we'll be animating the wall clock we created. So I'm currently on the geometry node. I'll be bringing in a transform node. So just click on add or shift A every which way. Type in transform node if you're clicking on add. So we'll be using our transform node to transform the rotation and location. So next we'll be adding the join geometry. So the join geometry will be in between the transform node and the output uh, node. Yeah. Okay. So you can input any value into the Z rotation, and you notice that it will keep changing. But next, let's bring in another node. You can bring in your time scene node, your scene time node rather. Alright, so connect it to the rotation on your transform. Alright, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on your post notification bell to get notified for new videos. Alright, so move your join geometry in between the transform node and the output node. Then your rotate your rotate Euler node, ensure you bring it in. So this tutorial will be very fast. Just bringing in nodes. Just copy the same node arrangements, copy the values, just like you see, and you'll be fine. So you bring in an object info node, you duplicate it, we need two of it, and duplicate the transform node, we need three of it, we already have one. Bring in, duplicate it twice for the hour and the minute hand. So the object info node, you need two of them for the hour and the minute hands. All right, so the geometry part of the first info node goes to the transform node, the second transform node, the geometry part. So geometry to geometry, that makes sense. All right, so you click on the add again. So bring in a new node. So you do the same for the second info node, right? You add a second info node to the third transform node. So on your info node, you can click the button there to pick the hands of the clock you want. So the first one will be for the minute, or the second one will be for the hour hand. Okay. So next, duplicate your rotate Euler. Okay, duplicate your rotate Euler. So one will be for the two new ones. One will be for the first is second transform node, and it will go directly to the rotation part, while the second that's the third rotate Euler will be for the third transform node, and it will go directly to the rotation part of it. Okay, so we have three rotate Eulers all connected to your three transform nodes. So this next we'll bring in a math node. Okay, so you click add and you change it to divide. Now you duplicate it. Okay, you change it to subtract, then the next one will be divide. Yeah, so the math will be changed to be duplicated, and you change it to divide. So change the value there, change the value to I don't know, any value you want. I'll be trying 10. You just alter the values and you see how the rotation works. Well, let's try 10. Then for the subtract, your value will be 1. So ensuring your math subtract node, the value is 1. Next, duplicate your divide twice. Connect one to the first rotate Euler, to the second rotate Euler, and then the third divide to the third rotate Euler. Ensure you connect it to the last part, the last button on the angle on the rotate Euler. Yeah, all the divide nodes. Okay, so just make sure you copy the same node arrangement as I have. We're gonna alter our the value for our main divide node. You can see the value right now is -10, so you need that. Ensure yours is also -10, and you can see the clock is moving now. It's moving. So I'm going to split the screen for my interface and then change it to time graph. Just follow my instruction, change it to timeline rather. So now timeline, you can see how the second hand is moving really fast. So you're not seeing it clearly yet because you have to change to cycles mode in render the render view mode before you can see the color of the hands and the other part of model as well. Alright, so for the divide, just you can alter the value. It depends on how fast or slow you want the clock hands to move. Alright, so if you want it to move very fast, you can put 60. You can see how it's literally moving with ideal clock time, right? But if you want it to move very fast, so the bigger it is, so I'm going to do 5, as you can see, materials. So I want to give the clock hands colors or materials, right? So search for set material, bring in the node, put it in between the three transform nodes. So duplicate, put for the next transform node, duplicate again, and put for the third transform node. Alright, so you literally done with that, but we'll go to, so click on the minute hand. Alright, so click on the minute hand. So while clicking on the minute hand, you go to materials, click plus, just follow my instructions. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to smash your bell icon and turn on your post notification. Please like and comment if you have questions. Now for the second hand, if you're in the second hand, the color for the second hand will be red. Yeah, it's just the color we're using. You can change the name of the material to red if you want. Yeah, you can change the name of the material to red. Okay. So you now go to the set material for the second hand and click on the new material you've created as a red one. So you could do the same for the other hands. You create materials for them. For the minute hand, you create the material for the minute hand, but we want to use black for both the minute and the hour hand. So there's no need to create a new material. You can use the material for the clock frame since it's black. So click on set material for minute hand, choose and the material for clock frame, which is black. Do the same for the hour hand on the second hand, and then move it on the Z axis. Alright, so now it's now visible. So there's one thing you notice: the clock hands, it's moving quite realistically, but it's quite big. It's really fat. Alright, so when we modded in the first part, I should have scaled it. Right, just scale when you model, and just ensure you scale to the desire you want. If you want it to be very tiny, alright, like in the thumbnail, if you want it to be very tiny, just scale it as small as you want. But for this, we're just gonna leave it as fat as it is. Yeah, it's quite fat. Just the weight is bigger than you have ideal clocks. But in finishing touches, so select everything and then rotate on the x-axis. Yeah, just rotate on the x-axis. You can rotate by 90 degrees on the x-axis, then rotate again on the z-axis by 180 degrees. So it will be r 90, then rx 90, then the next one is rz 180. So add a plane for the background. So we're going to create a background. So add a plane and then scale it out, S for scale, to make it bigger. Okay, so you can now scale on everything but the Z axis. So it will be S shift Z to scale on everything but the Z axis. So initially we scale on all the axes, but now F3 to align camera to view. F3, then scroll down to choose align camera to view. Next we go to our render mode to see how the clock looks like. Okay, so this is as close to a realistic clock as we're gonna get today. So you just, from everything you've learned, you can now go to your output settings. Ensure you choose your denoise if you're using Blender 3.1.2 like myself, or a version that is higher, hopefully using a version that is higher for it to be more realistic and to render in time. Alright, so I'm back in geometry node. Well, we're not going to do much here because we're literally done with the main parts of the animation. We've animated the hands, just adding finishing touches like I said earlier. So you can name the plane, you just add it to environment. You can pick any color for it, but for the sake of this tutorial, we'll be leaving the plain white background. Yeah. So next you can do the positioning of the lights. So we're going to duplicate the lights, right? So click on the light you currently have and just duplicate it if you want. But ensure you're in your viewport mode and you're in the front view. Yeah, you're in the front view and the viewport mode too. Looks just not looking very realistic with the hands. So to render, just click on your render and click on render animation. Alright, because if you click on render image, you'll be getting just an image. But if you want to get the full animation of the clock moving, or you have to click on render animation. So it's your choice. So you're currently seeing another wall clock that I've rendered. I've been working on that wall clock, and that's the one you're gonna get on the thumbnail because I actually did that one specially before the tutorial. I had to like practice a whole lot. Alright, so this is the main wall clock you're getting with the funny hands. The size of the hands look really big, but it's okay. For the sake of the tutorial, you're gonna get it like that. But if you want something different, you scale it the way you want. Alright, so just watch the part one. If you haven't watched the part one of this video, I will leave a link in the description of the video, and then you can click one of the cards. Yeah, you can click one of the cards at the top. Okay, just take you straight to the part one of the video. So don't forget to check the description if you haven't watched the part one of this tutorial. And please don't forget to check out my beginners to pro animation journey. So I've created a new playlist, beginners to pro animation journey. So I'll be learning and updating you guys on my journey to the pro level on Blender. As a matter of fact, in 3D animation, 3D character animation, so the target is to make short films. So right now I'm currently literally studying Blender. Alright, so you can see the clock is rendering right now. Just follow the instructions. From here on, it's very easy. Just follow whatever you see. Just, yeah, if you have questions, leave them in the comment box. Alright, so I have a new playlist, my Blender animation journey. Alright, so I'm just going to try to update you guys on how I've progressed over the next coming month on Blender. And hopefully every one of you subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on my journey, and